So Glacier is kind of an annoying map in this game, in my opinion, for a light tank. You can get really aggressive with a tank like the T-54 Lightweight and actually try and go to the mid, guys. I've done this before and I've been very successful in doing so. However, what you have to keep in mind is that the middle of this map is basically going to be like a brawling zone, so you always have to be careful about taking your tank into these areas because you'll get outmatched by a lot of mediums and heavies and stuff that are going to do like these hold down tactics against you, and I would just be very careful about doing that. Now on Glacier, what I like to usually do is go where the T-49 is going. It's a risky play, but sometimes it pays off. However, this guy gets spotted, and you can see he gets wrecked sitting here, and he's already dead, right? So this is why I tell you Glacier is kind of annoying, because from this spawn, I don't feel like it's ever worth it to try and go to the aircraft carrier, this frozen like hill on the game, or on the map rather. On this particular map, guys, it's much easier for this spawn, the southwest spawn, to take that spot, because where the T-49 is right now, you end up being able to sit right up here in this area. You can poke up like this, and then you can get shots on people like this. When you get to this area of the map from our spawn, right, you can't get the shots because the angle is wrong. Like your tank is almost on a tilt like this, and there's just no way you can get the gun depression to do the same thing. Why Wargaming has made it like this, I don't know. They should probably just balance it out so that both, sides are the same, but you can't really do it from over here. However, you can do it from over here, which makes this portion of the map OP for the enemy spawn. But I would like to note that you're actually safer to go here to this rock from this spawn than you are from the enemy spawn. Why that is, I don't know, but every time I sit here and end up, like another enemy light tank ends up sitting here, if I'm on this side, I get hit. If I'm on this side, I don't get hit. So I usually like coming here. I'm going to try and start taking advantage of this area now, and you'll see kind of how I'm able to work this, right? By the way, initially you saw me come to this area of the map simply because the T-49 was right there. Like, there's no reason for me to sit in this area right next to the T-49 if he's going to be spotting there. So what I'm going to do instead is just hang out. However, he dies in the first minute of the game, so now I'm going to try and start experimenting with this area. This is what I mean again about Glacier being so annoying, because look at the way I'm poking in these trees, right? I can't spot anything in this area. I can't spot anything in this area. There might just be no people here, but this is my experience on this map a lot. I can never spot anything over here, and I can hardly ever spot anything in here either. And maybe some light tankers understand the area of this map a little bit better. I find that from the enemy spawn, if you're able to get into here, like in this area, but from the other spawn, then you'll light like a lot more things for whatever reason. But from here, I can't spot anything, guys. I'm really just waiting for the team to try and progress. I'm holding down the Batchat 25T AP, and that's all we can really do with this situation. I'm able to get one shot into the Centurion by solid pushing up in this area. I don't know how I did it, but I was able to manage it. And then I'm going to take another shot at him right here. I do get lit for that one, and then I'm going to come back. So we are able to get a few shots off here. It's just very tricky how this area of the map works. Again, your other options are to try to go to the aircraft carrier, or you could duel it out in the mid if you really want to. But in my eyes, this is your best bet as a light tank driver specifically, unless you want to do some Unicom brawling. Like, I would highly suggest this play, because you have direct access to push this. And I'm going to take a shot from the Foch. This is fine. I'm now kind of running away from him, and then I'm going to turn back right here before I go over the hill. I went up a little too high, but now I'm going to push this area of the map. And this is what I would encourage you guys to do if you've won the mid. Like, the Leo 1 is trying to press into the heavy, so I'm not really concerned about him. But watch how I'm able to completely fool the Foch over here. I'm able to come up like this, target the Foch. Here he is right here. I hit him here, and now this guy has no choice but to either come this way at me or run the other direction, because I'm going to continue to have shots at him, and he does so. There's only two Arties behind me, so I'm just trying to kind of wiggle around, make sure I don't get hit by the Artie. And now Foch is in the middle of the open. Why he chose this play, I'm not sure. I'm going to auto lock him, get one more into him, and now we just go after Artie, guys. But watch this shot I take on the M53. I completely missed this guy somehow. I got my HE loaded, right? I auto-lock him, and maybe it wasn't as close as I thought it was, but it looked like my reticle was on him, right? Completely on him. And we take the shot, and like, where does that go, man? Like, I had him auto-locked. I don't understand that at all. Maybe you can see the reticle kind of like jiggled a little bit there. I don't know if something happened with my gun. Like, maybe I hit like a little bit of a hill or something like that, man. But anyway, the 277 is going to ram this guy, and that's going to be the game. So let me give you some quick overview of this map real quick. Again, to draw this out for you guys, the way this aircraft carrier works over here, it's very tricky to do from our spawn, right? It just doesn't work well because when you come up this way and you get to this area of the map, you'll find that you're just angled too much. Like, you can try and sit in this area, but again, you're left wide open, and the shots just do not work the same as they do from up here because you're tilted a little bit this way, right? The way you can angle yourself, you just have to be cautious of the people that are down in this area, that they don't have shots going up at you like this. But from here, you can easily take shots at people that are in this area. I'm telling you, like, all the way out to here, you have like the render range, and this whole line becomes basically like a playground for damage, right? For you. Like, it's just pick who you want to shoot and let them rip, right? And I just find that to be kind of unbalanced over there. Maybe it's just me, maybe you guys have had different experiences, but that's how that area of the map works. Now, moving on to the forest area of the map, you have a pretty even area over here for the most part. What you're going to have, right? Let's actually zoom out a little more. If you guys are on phones, just try and hold the phone close to you, right? So you have these little bushes right here. This is where tank destroyers like to sit. So we'll just put TD right here, TDs, and over here, TDs, TDs, boom, boom. That's where you have your tank destroyers, guys, and they will have shots going like so, right? So you have to be very, very mindful of this. Now, you'll also have people that will sit in these areas right here. These are like your mediums and other heavies and tank destroyers, or whoever wants to sit there. You might have some mediums in here. And then you have like your whole like brawling section of the map right here. Brawling section, right? That's how this works. And then here's your little light tank zone. Light tank area, okay? That's what you have here. So it's a lot going on. From this area. However, once you win this area of the map, a lot of times what you'll find is you actually have crossfire at some people over here and such. And then once you win this as well, you can push the enemy base, and if you win enough of the mid, you can do what I did, like on this side over here, just push like this, and you have this ridge line. The same goes for this one. You can push this ridge line, come up like this, and then get back shots at people here, or spot the arty in this area, and that's how I would suggest that you guys progress on this map. Now, what gets really tricky though is this area of the map. From this spawn, you can come all the way to this tree line pretty safely, knock down trees in this area, and you can try and spot people in this area and also where the tank destroyers like to sit, the TDs, right? You could do that. Now, from the other spawn, for whatever reason, it's just the way the angle works, it's trickier, right? Like, I can't explain this to you guys. You just have to kind of understand and experiment with it, but it's much easier to get through here, knock down these trees, and go through like this than it is over here. Because if you have to come up like this, like, you're more exposed, and a lot of times people will sit in this area of the map. So there's a pocket where the enemies can sit, but that pocket is not really the same over here. You can see how that works, right? Because the rock is right here, and then there's this pocket, and then this is just kind of like an open area. There's this huge rock right here, right? So you don't really have the equivalent, because you'd have to be like all the way out here, whereas the enemy can poke you right here. It's kind of hard to draw on the map. Like, it looks even, but I'm telling you, once you get over here, you'll understand what I mean. There's these little differences, and you just have to be very, very careful and mindful and understand how those differences work so that you don't get out-spotted or, you know, out-angled or whatever, and you end up getting whacked by tank destroyers. This is also case you guys play a lot of tank destroyers, I would highly suggest coming here from the start. I love to take this bush in my Kanonen Jagdpanzer. For whatever reason, it seems to work really well on getting shots of people that are coming like in this way and people that poke on this ridge line here. And then you, of course, have all the shots here as well. And then you can just come down right to here whenever you're spotted, right? And you really don't get hit unless people are going to get into like this area, right? So there's a nice little spot for you if you like to play the TDs. And that's it, guys. That's Glacier. We'll get into the end plates. I hope this was informative for you. This was a second class game, 2K spotting, 1635 damage, and we came out with the win. You know, I think we just had the better team overall. Again, 1635 damage, 1 kill, 824 experience, and we made 619 coin. That's really it, guys. Nothing fancy with this game. Again, I hope it's helpful. Glacier's just a really annoying map. Like every time I get Glacier, I'm like, Glacier. Like, I'm never excited to play on Glacier. I've had some really great games on Glacier. It just, I don't know, man. I just feel like there's only one really good area of the map to go to, and like that's it. And some maps are like this for light tanks. They're just very boring, and you kind of just have to play around with some trees, play around with some bushes, play around with some angles until the game really gets going and you can do something. So there you go, guys. If you like this content and you're learning from it, do sub. It would really help me out. And any comments, questions, concerns, leave them below in the comment section and I'll get back to you guys. Take care now. Bye-bye.